What is a missed opportunity?
What the report contains will help some people in this casualised gig economy, but it clearly doesn't go far enough. People need to understand that over the last 7 or 8 years under a Conservative government, we've seen this explosion of casualisation. 10 million workers caught in this trap. Those workers range from home care workers, delivery drivers, taxi drivers, who depend on a bit of work, a handout from their employer. Now, what this report does, it identifies many of the issues, but it doesn't identify the solution.
Well, that's the view of the GMB. Well, let's take some time to discuss with two people with a keen interest in this. I'm joined by Henry Chango Lopez, who is president of the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain and who himself works as a porter at the University of London, and Jennifer O'Donnell, who runs her own cleaning business in South London. A warm welcome to both of you. Jennifer, explain first of all, because you employ a number of people, and I know you felt very strongly that you wanted to do things, as we would say it, perhaps above board.
Yeah, I started my company 4 years ago, and when I started it, I was very clear that I wanted to employ all of my staff. I wanted to make sure that they were protected with employment rights. And not only does that mean holiday pay and sick pay, maternity pay and provision for pension, it also means the right to grievance and the right to health and safety training. So it was very important to me that they had those rights. But my company is a commercial and domestic cleaning company, and particularly in the domestic sector, it is just rife with black market, cash-in-hand transactions. A lot of consumers don't really know that they're doing anything wrong by hiring somebody that they've just got on recommendation. People just want a quick and cheap solution for their cleaning. They have busy lives, and so there's a lot of cash-in-hand payments that go on in this sector. As well as that, there's what I call the grey economy, which is agencies, and where they will subcontract the work to an unregulated workforce who will be self-employed.
I'll come to you, Henry, in a moment, but a quick thought on that. There will be people listening thinking, crikey, if there is as much cash-in-hand work going on as you say, and perhaps some people are aware of, how do you make your business model work? Because you've got to make it work.
It is extremely tricky. It's very, very difficult because both of these models, the black market and the grey market, they can keep their prices down because they don't have any employment costs. And one of the key issues for me is that I also have to charge VAT to private households. And that's 20% on top of what we're charging them. And that VAT, that charge doesn't exist in the black economy, definitely not, but in the grey economy, if it does exist at all, it's just a small charge on the agency's fee.
Yes. Henry, your own situation, first of all, in terms of your job, were you taken on and given the benefits that Jennifer's talking about for her staff? Would you get holiday pay? Would you get sick pay?
Yeah, definitely. I will get. On my work, I get a statutory minimum sick pay and holidays. That's what normally the outsourcing company gives. But especially at the University of London, we have fought for better conditions as a result of unionisation. So we have 6 months full pay, sick pay, for instance, all the outsourced workers like cleaners, porters, securities, and also we have extra holidays. But,
but you got those because you fought for them.
Exactly.
So I think
that was a result of unionising. But normally it would be like the people who represent, they have statutory minimum and normal holidays.
So you only got that because you fought for it, and I know the university contracts out the particular job that you do, so you're not employed by the university, you're employed by another organisation. Yes. What then, well, both of you, but Henry, I'll start with you. What do you think when you hear Matthew Taylor's recommendations today?
Well, I didn't read the whole report, but I basically watching the news and seeing the newspapers. I agree with what he said of having a fair and decent job for everyone. Yes. But I'm disappointed with the recommendation because there's nothing that says the banning 0 hours contracts, for example, which is a big problem where I work, for example, at the University of London, where we have people who before would have normal permanent contracts, and because these contracts are allowed, they have get rid of people who used to have permanent contracts and now most of the people who are working there are on 0 hours contract.
So they have been actively put on them.
Exactly.
And you're concerned because 0 hours contracts have not been banned, not under his proposals anyway.
Yes, and then basically it's a trap for workers because you cannot live a decent life in this country, especially when we live in a country, a city that is so expensive.
Yes, London in particular you're referring to because that's where you're based. Jennifer, your thoughts about the review though. Is it going to help? Is it a step in the right direction? How do you see it?
Well, I think anything that improves workers' lives, daily lives, is a step in the right direction, but I don't think it does go far enough. It doesn't address the ambiguity of self-employment. And for companies, I think that they don't know sometimes if they can operate with self-employed workers, and consumers don't know if they're going to an agency, whether they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And the dependent contractors, I have concerns about this because I think it enables companies that work in the gig economy, it enables them to give workers some rights, but not all rights. So they still can bring their costs down and they can still operate without having to charge the VAT as I do. And that means they're kind of getting the best of both worlds.
And actually, fundamentally, it seems that we're talking about a huge cultural shift because it's so embedded in this country, it seems to me, and you would know much more with your role as someone who runs their own business. How do we, all of us, those who employ and who are the employers, move away from that?
It is, and it's certain sectors that it is embedded in. I mean, cleaning is one of those, domestic cleaning. But, you know, many people will go and get their cars washed at one of those places on the corner, you know, and there'll be someone there in flip-flops in the middle of winter. And, you know, is that person had health and safety training? But we don't really think about it because we want our cars cleaned quickly. So, yeah, there has to be a huge cultural shift, and I don't know how that is going to be enforced through the review.
Well, there is so much more I'd love to ask both of you, but it's fantastic to have you both here with your experiences. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Jennifer O'Donnell, Henry Chango Lopez, really good to see you. Thank you very much indeed, and we may well be talking again. Thanks very much for now.